Good morning, children. It is Tuesday morning. I hope you all had a good 3-day weekend. Remember, this is our last week of school where we can get our work in, because I have to make your report cards out by Friday. So please, if you owe me spelling tests, if you owe me social studies assignments or Bible verses, you need to do them this week. I told you what to do with the spelling tests. Your moms or somebody could dictate them to you and then inform me either on the iPad what grades you received in them. Remember, it's lists 27 through 30 in your spelling workbook. You have to realize that that's a spelling workbook. And then the other words were on the charts that I gave you from the handwriting. You all should know what social studies you're missing. If you still have my Indian library book, please, it must be returned. Okay, I hate to be so forceful, but this is the last week of school. We probably will go over maybe one day on Monday in June 2nd, I believe. But the report cards have to be made out because we will have some kind of a closing ceremony. Otherwise, I'm sorry, but at the fourth marking period, I might not give you the grades that you've been having all along. Some of you have been doing beautifully. You're getting your A's and your A+. But some of you have been holding back. Please get yourself busy. I would like to open up in a word of prayer. Dear Jesus, we are near the end of our race. The children have been faithful and that they've been working with me, and I pray that they will keep it up and that all work will be turned in. I want to thank the parents so much for their help that they have been giving their children at home with the responsibility of making sure that the work is turned in. We pray blessings on each and every family, that we will recuperate and we will get back into the spirit of things as usual. We thank you for your many blessings. In Jesus' name, amen. Today we're going to be reading a new story, and I want you to take a look at what I have on the table. The title of our story is Green is More Than a Color. What do these objects have in common? What do they all have that is the same? Yes, it's the color green. We have a green table scarf. We have 2 green Expo pens. We have a green rubber band. We have a green fern. And we also have a green sanitizer bottle. And this is to show that the color green is more than just a color. Okay, so we're going to be looking at some words. I'm going to be writing them down as we read them. Some of them you've already know from previous stories. This is the word buy. This word buy means to purchase. I would like to buy that a bicycle. Now the other buy is this. Long I sound. Come by my house later. The next word is a number word. This is the number 8. And this is the word 8. Notice the difference in spelling. The silent GH. This is the number. This is the past of 8. I ate a lot yesterday at the birthday party. 8. Okay, this is a strange word. This is the hard G sound. G. U is silent. E. S. Guess what today is? This U is silent. The next word is thought. We've had this numerous times, mucho. Don't ask me why it's spelled this way. All right, thought. This OU has an aw sound. The GH is silent. This has an aw sound. And it's the word thought. Okay, and then we have the word through. Now, this is very, very strange. Here, the OU has an aw sound. Here, the OU has an oo sound. And we don't hear the GH at all. Thought and through. That's why English is such a difficult language. I've been telling you that all year. All right, and the word is watch. This watch can be what you see, and it also could be what you wear to tell the time. Watch. Here, we do not hear the T. Okay? Now let's go back to our color green. Our color green makes you think of what? When you see the color green, what do you think of? Okay, sometimes you think of what? The woods, the grass, maybe being on a farm. Well, here in our story today, we have a little boy who lives in an apartment in the city, and he wants to have something green. He wants a little bit more of the woods than he has by his house, because when you live in a city, you just have streets with cement. You have very little places to grow things. You might have plants, like I have plants by my window, but of course I have a big backyard, so I have a lot of greenery. But if I lived in a big city, or if I lived downtown Miami and I lived in an apartment house, I might not have anything that's really green unless I bring in a plant. So we're going to have a story today about a boy named Ezra. Ezra, let me write his name down. His name is Ezra. It's from the Bible. Ezra was a prophet. And we're going to look at some words. And I'm going to write them here. All right, here is Ezra. Here is the word empty. When we put it in the past, he emptied the garbage pail. We change the Y to an I and add ED. And then we're going to have the word dollars. I'm going to have a lot of words, that's why I'm writing them down. Wilted. Huh? There. And grieve. And I'll show you these words. Here is the word dollars. You've seen that a lot in math. This is wilted. Wilted. We've got an extra syllable there. Wilted. When something wilts, it dies, like flowers will wilt if they don't get watered. This is the word huh. It's just an expression. Sometimes somebody will be talking to you and you'll say, huh? What'd you say? What'd you say? Huh? This is the word there. This is a contraction for they are. Remember, we've had contractions lately. Can't and isn't and don't. Now these are the other two theirs. This there is ownership. This is their house. And this is to place something. Put the dish over there. It's pointing to a place. Okay, these are the words you're going to be looking at. And this is the word grieve. Long E sound. When you grieve for something, you're full of sorrow and sadness. Usually we grieve, let's say if our goldfish dies or our dog is old and has to be put to sleep, we grieve, we mourn, we cry for it. Okay, these are our words. Now, The section of the story is called A Bit of Green. And we have a little boy here. And what is he doing? What have we been doing in math the other day? We were counting money, right? And he's counting money. So let's see what he's doing. Look at the picture and find out what he's doing on the steps here. Who can tell me what he's doing? He's counting, right? It says, Ezra sat on the bottom step counting his money for the third time. Okay, so he's counting. Let's see, he's got bills, worn bills. Those bills mean dollar bills. You know, probably has old dollar bills. Sometimes we get a crisp new dollar bill and sometimes they're old. And what else is he counting? He's counting dimes. We counted dimes yesterday, nickels, and pennies. Yeah. I put my dollar away, but this is what he's counting. He's counting his change, whatever it is. I don't think he has any quarters. He has nickels and dimes. It doesn't say quarters. Okay, now we're looking at the title of this section. It says A Bit of Green. What is green in the picture? What is green? See, he's got his money on the steps. Can you tell me what? The colors aren't too bright in my book, but what's green in the picture? Well, those dollar bills are green. That's on his by his leg, and also there's the mat on the steps. But in my book, it looks like it's gray. And then there's also these little a little bit of grass growing on that, but mostly it's brown dirt. But you see the little bits of grass that's growing. Okay, now, so we know that he is counting his money, and that's what we did yesterday, right? Okay, let's turn the page to page 26. I hope I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the page when we opened up, but I'll wait if anybody has not gotten their reading book out. But you should have been doing that while I was talking. Okay, all right. So we're on page 26. Okay, what does his mother say about his money and what she thought that he might or he should buy with it? What does she tell him? Now it looks like they're both going to go out because it says his mother shut and locked the door to the apartment. And what is she asking him? Start reading the first two paragraphs and tell me what she's thinking about. What is she concerned about what he wants to buy or doesn't want to buy? Can you tell me? Yes. She says, don't you want to buy a toy with the money your grandmother sent you? Now, that would be an obvious thing, wouldn't it? If somebody sent you money for your birthday or a holiday, you wouldn't want to buy yourself a toy or a game or something personal for you yourself, right? Well, anyway, what does he answer his mother, which shows where his heart is? He wants to buy a what? Look at the third paragraph where it says, no, Mama. Tell me what he wants to get and why. Very important, why. Yes, he wants to buy a tree. So so when Grandma comes, there will be a bit of green for her, okay? Now, how does his mother answer him? Is she supporting him right away? Is she annoyed with him? Is she happy about it? What are her feelings? Okay, well, she wants to give him the negative reasons for not having a tree. Negative means they're not good. I mean, the reasons why he shouldn't be buying a tree. And what does she say? She said, where will we put it? There's hardly room for even a lawn, a little piece of lawn. And how does Ezra answer? I think he's already got this figured out. What does he say? We could put it in the back. It would fit inside the fence. And then he asks, can we get one? Now what does his mother do? She smiles. And she says, let's go get a tree. So he has shown that he is not selfish. He's thinking of his grandmother, and he's already thought it out about what and where he's going to deal with that tree. He knows where he's going to put it. And his mom is happy because he shows how unselfish he is. Let's turn to page 27. Look at the picture. From the picture, do we have a tree? Yeah, we see that Ezra and his mother are putting a tree in the trunk of the car. Well, actually, in this picture, they're taking it out. They're taking it out. So they have bought a tree. Who can tell me how much it cost? It's right on top of the page. Yes, $8. $8. What does it mean it was a little wilted? What does it mean? Well, a little wilted means it was old. The leaves were kind of going flat. You know, right now these leaves are nice and upright, but then maybe in a couple of days they'll start to bend down because they need water, they need sunshine. So maybe that's why he got that tree for only $8. All right, now, who's that lady in the back on the other side of the fence? What is her name? All right, remember, MRS period stands for Mrs. Her name is what? Mrs. Ellis. And what is she doing? What is she doing? She was scrubbing her grill. What's a grill? It was on her barbecue, right? And she's looking up over the fence. And she asks the mother. Now the mother's name is Elvira because she says, what are you up to, Elvira? Wait, what are you doing with that? She looks like a nosy neighbor, doesn't she? She's already looking a little critical at that wilted tree that's coming out of the trunk. Okay, let's find out what happens. Let's turn the page. Okay, now it's another long page. So let's read silently what happens on this page. Let's maybe read the first couple of paragraphs and then we can continue on. What does the mother tell Mrs. Ellis about the tree in the first paragraph? What does she say as she takes it out of the car? She says, we're going to plant Ezra's tree. And how does Mrs. Ellis respond? What does she say? Look at a tree? Here? Why, the heat will burn it up in no time. It's a waste of time. She's very, very negative, isn't she? And what is Ezra's mother's response to that? Maybe. Maybe not. Again, is she satisfied, Mrs. Ellis? She says, some people can't tell when they're well off. And she slams the back door. Why is she upset? She didn't buy the tree. She's not going to plant it. But she's criticizing it, and Ezra's mother is not giving in to her. And so she's upset because she knows she's right, that tree is not good. Well, we'll see. So she's inside her house. This is Mrs. Ellis. And what is she doing? She's muttering. What does muttering mean? That lady doesn't know what she's trying to have. She's kind of talking to herself. Now, another person comes out, and who is it? Read the last two paragraphs. It's Mr. Tillman. And what does he offer to do? He says, let me lift that thing. What's that thing? That thing is the tree.
So he took the tree into the tiny backyard and he sat it down. What does the tree look like? What's that last sentence? The tree sagged to the left. Okay, let's hear what he has to say on page 29. What does he say? He's rubbing his whiskers. It's his beard, his whiskers. And what's he saying? Some tree. Look at him, see him? See the picture? It says, be surprised if it makes it through the night. Now, Ezra and his mother look at the tree, and what does Ezra ask? He's getting a little worried because two people are already criticizing his tree and his choice. And he says, do you think they're right, Mama? Will the tree die? Well, Mama is giving him support. Look at her arm on his shoulder. Yeah, she's supporting him. And she says, don't grieve before time. In other words, don't count your chickens before they hatch. In other words, don't give in. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. Don't grieve. Don't feel bad and feel sorry before anything happens. And she says, what we're going to do is the last sentence. We're going to take good care of it and it will live. Okay, and look at the shovel that Mr. Tillman has. Look how tiny her backyard is. Look at all that dirt on the floor. There's not even any grass growing. See, that's what it's like to live in the city. There are big houses around, not much of a yard. Okay, now, tomorrow we're going to find out what happens to Ezra's tree. And you're going to see something very, very remarkable. So what I would like you to do is to do, you should be up to page 145 in your workbook, in your reading workbook, and tomorrow we'll finish the story. Please get your work done as far as your subject areas, spelling, social studies, and Bible verses.